Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And I wanted to come in for a second to give you guys some information on the stock market. And I also want to apologize to those who are in the Stock Market Investors Club. I cannot make class tomorrow. However, I will be around later on in the week. I had to kind of finish up and sort of deal with the follow-up on the All Black National Convention. I know a lot of you came to the convention and it was amazing. It was totally packed out. It was the largest convention we've ever had and probably the largest that we're going to have for a while, largely because our goal isn't to have a massive convention full of people. We want to have a massive convention full of the right people. All right. So don't ever think we're not becoming InvestFest. I love InvestFest, but that's not for us. We'd rather have people that are at a certain level that have a deep, deep, deep commitment to the Black community that are also action oriented. Don't just listen to what we say. I need you to apply it and do it. And a lot of you that are doing it already are already making money. You're already building wealth. A lot of you showed me your Robinhood accounts. You have hundreds of thousands of dollars in there, and I love that a lot. I love that a lot. All right. So let me share some profit alerts for those of you that are looking for ways to kind of identify what's happening in the stock market. A lot of you may know that this market has been quite gracious this past week. It actually was raining money pretty good last week, and that's a good thing. A lot of you got rich from that. And also, I want to ask everybody really quickly, can you guys hear me? Give me a quick yes in the chat if you can hear me okay. I want to make sure my audio is all right as we move forward. So one thing I want to talk about is there's this new thing Nvidia just did that's really exciting. They actually created something called a robot brain, and apparently this robot brain, it's called the Jetson AGX Thor, which is just an amazing name. It's a developer kit, and it basically is something I guess for developers. They don't build the robots and stuff like that, but they kind of power all that. And this is their hot new interesting thing that they're releasing, and it's right at the same time that they're putting out earnings. And I'm trying to, as we're looking, I'm trying to see if they announced their earnings, because I thought that it was today. Let me see. Let me see what happened with the earnings. Okay. They're going to release their earnings on Wednesday. Okay. So when they release their earnings on Wednesday, it's going to be a big deal. Let me just tell you, that's going to really rock your portfolio. When Nvidia announces earnings, hopefully it'll rock it in a good way. But it could rock it in a bad way. But if it rocks it in a bad way, that's still not bad for you. If you're a long-term investor, that could be a good thing because that gives you an opportunity to go buy that stock that you were looking at, that stock that you were afraid of, that stock that the price was a little bit too high. Well, maybe the price will go down. So when America's on sale, I love to go shopping. Put the word shop in the chat. If you like to go shopping for stocks, put shop in the chat because I want you to shop and I want you to get rich and shop till you drop. All right, so let me talk about a few things happening in the market in terms of catalysts and things that you may want to pay attention to. First and foremost, there's a little bit going on in terms of market sentiment getting a little bit out of hand, a little bit frothy, a little bit too excited, and that's because the Federal Reserve released some good news. And some believe that the market may be overreacting to that. And you saw a little bit of a downturn in the market today as a result of that. And that was to be expected. When I wrote my dissertation, I wrote it on what they call weekly reversals in the market. So historically speaking, the stock market tends to reverse itself when it goes way up or way down in a given week. There tends to be a reversal. So you probably had a little bit of a pullback. And if you remember when the market took off the other day, I was letting you guys know that you may want to go ahead and pull some money off the table. Be a little bit conservative, be a little bit careful, protect what you have, because some of that money literally just disappeared in thin air, right? So with that said, keep your eye on that. Basically, the Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates. That's a big deal. Now the PCI, Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, is expected to come out soon, and that's a big deal. If those numbers are not good, that could end up harming the stock market. And Nvidia's earnings already mentioned that. And what I'm going to do actually is give you a bull and bear case on Nvidia, and to really give you a spoiler alert. I actually like Nvidia. I'll just say that. So if you want to know, does Dr. Boyce want to own Nvidia? The answer is yes, yes, hell to the yes. It doesn't mean I know Nvidia is going to go up, but I know Nvidia is a big part of the future. Also, there's another company that I'd been buying shares in before, and I'm glad I did. And they're kind of a little bit of a competitor to Nvidia, and that's Intel. Their ticker symbol is INTC. I like Intel because I believe that the government, that Trump is just gonna, that his people are gonna prop that stock up. I think that their investment in Intel isn't just about the money. It's actually about what they can do in terms of getting customers for Intel. Basically, Intel, if they get customers and they get some investment, Intel can be a player again. And so the time to really invest in things like that is before it happens. So literally, as I'm speaking to you, I'm literally buying more shares of Intel, and I'm also buying more shares of Nvidia. It is not because I know for sure what is going to happen. I have to keep repeatedly saying that this is not investment advice, because for some reason people think that if you have a PhD in finance, you can predict stocks. Well, the PhD in finance taught me that you can't predict stocks. So all the people on the internet telling you they know what's going to go up and what's going to go down, that those people are wrong, because they just don't know. They get lucky, sure. If I flip a coin and I say, yeah, it's going to be heads. Well, of course, I'm gonna be correct 50% of the time just because of probability. But that does not mean I know I have a special skill when it comes to coin flipping. So don't let anybody fool you. Just, don't go chasing waterfalls. That's how people lose money. And I want you to make money by consistently investing. Okay. So anyway, for those of you that were at the All Black National Convention, you know about the 5-year pledge. The 5-year pledge is something that I'm sticking with, that I want us to really look at. And the 5-year pledge basically says that if you are willing to treat your family like it's a bill, you already pay bills on time. You pay your cell phone bill on time. You pay your car note on time. You pay your rent on time. And I want you to pay your cell phone time, right? I want you to care as much about your own legacy as you care about the car dealer's legacy. I need you to care about your own family as much as you care about the landlord's family. And so here's the thing. We got a whole lot of folks that know how to pay bills. And they pay bills on time, and because you got to keep your credit score up, because somebody lied to you and told you that a good credit score and a college degree were the two most important assets you can have. That's not true. The two most important assets you can have are a capital base and generational wealth. At least those are two of many. But if you've got generational wealth slash financial security, which comes from a capital base, which is all kind of connected, then you don't really need the good credit score, because credit scores are for people that don't have any capital. If you have capital, then you don't need a credit score. Wealthy people that have capital can borrow against those assets, because collateral trumps capital. So collateral trumps credit scores every single day of the week. So I don't want you to just have the credit score. I want you to have the collateral. So here's the deal. Here's the plan. Here's the promise. Based on the history of the stock market, if you simply pick a bill like your $500 car note and you match that and put $500 consistently into an S&P 500 index fund, then after about 5 years, you'd have roughly 38 to $40,000, maybe 35, something like that, liquid. That means you're no longer poor. You're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. You're no longer financially insecure. The second thing that I want to mention is that there's that after 10 years, you're talking about $99,000, right? So if I was literally able to get the whole Black community to do this plan, we would increase Black wealth in 1 decade by about $3.7 trillion, just by getting Black folks to keep paying bills, right? Just by elevating our self-esteem to the point where we understand that paying ourselves is just as important as paying these other people. So does that make sense? Right? So I'd like everybody to consider the 5-year pledge. I'm going to send out something soon that'll kind of get you started in terms of a Black Wealth starter kit that'll help you kind of execute the pledge. All this is free. And I'm really asking you, I'm not asking you on behalf of me, I'm asking you on behalf of your family. And this was our bold new idea from the All Black National Convention. And it's something that I know will make a massive difference for you. All right. So in fact, I'll put the Black Wealth starter kit right here in the chat, so you guys can just grab it right here if you want to go take a look at it. And here it is. Okay, yeah. So the ticker symbol for Intel. Let's circle back to stocks. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. Please hit the thumbs up button. So the ticker symbol for Intel is INTC. I like Intel. I just bought some shares of Intel as we were talking. Also, you've got Nvidia. Nvidia is an enigma because Nvidia has done so well. Nvidia has gone up so much that everyone kind of thinks, well, what goes up must come down. But that's not true. Those are the laws of gravity, not the laws of financial physics. So effectively, the dilemma with Nvidia is Either I jump in and I capture a piece of the future, or I miss out and watch this stock just go, insanely high. Or maybe I buy in at the wrong time and then the thing collapses on me and I realize I've missed the wave. I would tell you stop overthinking it. I will just give you what is referred to as the bull and bear case of Nvidia, and it would go something like this. Let me see here. Here are a few things you want to think about Nvidia. First off, in the bull case, it's a massive market leader. They literally hold 80 to 90% of the market share in AI chips. That's insane. That's insane. They also have a massive amount of AI demand, but that demand may decline. But right now, the demand from healthcare and finance to automotive, et cetera, is nonstop. It's kind of crazy. They have a powerful ecosystem. So they built a really nice moat around their hardware with what they call the CUDA software platform. And so what it does is it makes it easier for developers to build AI applications using NVIDIA's GPUs. So switching costs are very high. And that means that once somebody becomes an NVIDIA customer, they're not going to become a customer of anybody else in many cases. So like like once you go black, you never go back. Well, it's kind of the same way. Once you go Nvidia, you never go back, right? So so that's kind of the bull case for Nvidia, and this is enough for me to say, I think I want to be there. I think I want to be a part of this as it happens. Now, here's the bear case. You always want to know the dark side of everything. Their valuation is really high. Their price earnings ratio, which is a measure of whether a stock is potentially overvalued, is incredibly high. And that means that their very high expectations have already been incorporated into the price. So the whole world knows Nvidia makes money. That's not a secret. The question is, are they going to continue to grow? It's only for the universe to tell you that, right? Nobody knows what the future holds for Nvidia. Number two, competition's coming. You've got AMD and Intel that are really fighting to get their piece of the pie. And as you see, the government is really backing Intel right now, right? So that says something, right? That speaks in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, let me hop in my Schwab account and let me go ahead and back the other horse because I don't know how far. There's no limit to Trump corruption in terms of them supporting their friends. And Intel has become a friend to the Trump administration. Now, what that's going to translate to, I don't know. Intel may be beyond repair, but the idea of Intel picking up a little bit of market share is not out of the question. And in fact, so I like both of these stocks. I wanted to make that clear. I like owning both of them. In fact, a good AI ETF is AIQ, which I don't know if Intel's in there. I think it is. I know Nvidia's in there. So that might be something worth looking at. Also, there's what you call cyclical demand, geopolitical risks. Yeah, so basically, the demand for AI is really high. If it's cyclical, meaning if it goes down unexpectedly, that could be an issue. Also, there's an issue with China. China doesn't really like the United States right now. Nvidia makes a ton of its money in China. So if something were to happen in that flow of revenue from China, that could be disruptive to Nvidia. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. I don't believe that the negatives outweigh the positives. I believe enough that NVIDIA has strength that I'm going to actually become a deeper owner of NVIDIA. I already have made hundreds of thousands of dollars on NVIDIA stock. Our son mentioned NVIDIA stock, and my rule on buying stock is not, why should I buy it? My rule is why not? Even if you buy a stock and the price goes down, at least you're saving your money, right? Remember, first and foremost, investing isn't just investing, it's saving. If you put your money in something that's not too crazy, you're at least holding your money back and giving it an opportunity to grow. It may not grow, but the first step toward growing money is giving yourself the opportunity to grow money. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you follow me, you'll know the word poor stands for what? It stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So what I want you to do is give yourself an opportunity to have wealth. Give yourself an opportunity for your money to grow. Give your money life. Don't throw away your future. So if you're thinking about buying a stock, stop thinking. Just you like it. Okay, I want to be an investor in that industry. Investors make the most money in America. But don't ever think for a second that investors always make money. Sometimes investors lose money. Don't think that investors are always right. No, you're going to be wrong a lot. I've had a PhD for 25 years in this field. I'm wrong a lot. Don't think that investing means that everything's smooth and easy. No, it's not a paycheck. It's money that comes in clumps. And some of you have seen those clumps. In fact, if you're in the chat and you've made money because of some things that you've done on this platform, say something in the chat. A lot of you in the convention were showing me your Robinhood accounts. I saw people with 150,000 in their account, $212,000, $82,000, all these other things, and I just loved it. I love it because I love seeing independent, strong, intelligent Black people who are financially secure. You've always been smart. You've always been radical in terms of believing in yourself and your community. But it's one thing to stand up to fight the power when you are doing well versus fighting the power when you're broke. If you fight the power when you're broke, then they're simply going to use their money to control you. And you know what that means. That's why you got a lot of people that will say, I'm a strong Marxist and I'm a strong communist, but unfortunately, they have to go work for a capitalist. How does that work? How are you going to fight capitalism and support it at the same time? That's literally like stabbing yourself in the stomach and thinking that you're defeating the enemy. You're not defeating the enemy, you're defeating yourself. I hope that makes sense. So get your money up, make good decisions. That's going to make a difference for you. All right, guys. Tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, if you want to come in and join us and you want to talk to me directly about your family legacy plan, we are hosting an economic elevation circle. And the economic elevation circle is where you can come and talk to me. And I'm going to do hot seat calls with you to talk to you about your family wealth plans, your plans for generational wealth. This is out of the Dr. Boyce Academy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in here. It works for today only. And it basically is a link where you can get 40% off this membership to the Economic Elevation Circle. And you can literally come in right now and join us. And if you see this video as a recording later, then you can join later. But let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna see if I can find the Economic Elevation Circle link so you guys can join. I'm looking for this thing. I don't see it. Sorry, I'm looking for it. Oh, okay. I don't have it in front of me. How terrible is that? Here I was talking crazy. I'm gonna find it. I'll find it. I'll find it. But also another thing too, I know a lot of you regretted missing the All Black National Convention. If you want to see highlights from the convention, just go to my Instagram. My Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance. And in my Instagram, I have a lot of video from the convention. You can see that it was the largest convention that we ever had. It was completely sold out. This year, it's going to sell out again. And so you may want to lock in your ticket now. And in fact, the early bird tickets are half off. So feel free to go to allblacknationalconvention.com if you'd like to join for next year and bring your kids and bring your family. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And just so you know, if you're in the chat, I just put the link to the Economic Elevation Circle. That 40% off link, it lasts for today only. So feel free to join us tonight. And that's your fee to be a member forever. And so if you want to come in and talk to me about your generational wealth plan, I can put you in the hot seat, ask you questions. In fact, what I do in the fast cash hot seat is I give people $10,000 of fake money and I say, tell me what to do. What should I do with this money? How am I going to make this money grow? What are some principles I should consider? So I'm going to drill you until you become good at what you do. I want you to be a winner. I want you to be on top of this. I want you to take no shorts, and I want you to succeed. And I want you to take this back to your family. You can bring your whole family in with one membership. So if you have 5 relatives that want to join, that's fine. Bring all 5 people. All 5 people pay one fee. It's much cheaper than what you paid to go to college, and they didn't teach you anything. I know this because I've been a college professor for a long time. And so the goal is to get our families activated and moving when it comes to generational wealth. That's how we succeed. Also, if you want to know about next year's All Black National Convention, we will be in Brooklyn, in October, the weekend of October 16th. So if you want to join us for next year, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. And in fact, those of you that are part of Money in the Morning, I would give you all an opportunity if you want to turn it into a business. You can feel free to join the affiliate program. I'll release that next week. And you can offer passes to people that you trust. Don't bring your ignorant relatives. I only want people that are going to add positivity to the energy. But if you want to bring them in at a discount and make money for yourself, make it into a business, I would love to go into business with you. Now, somebody says that the link isn't working. I just clicked on that link, the Economic Elevation Circle. Let me know if the link works. And Valerie says the conference was phenomenal. Thank you, Valerie, for saying that. There's the link to the Economic Elevation Circle. And I'm going to give you the other link to the Black Wealth Starter Kit. So somebody give me a confirmation if you can click on the links and let me know if the links work. They're both right there. I'm going to pin the link to the Economic Elevation Circle. So it's at the top. I can't pin 2 links. So let me know. Somebody click on it. Let me know if it's working. That way I can bounce out of here because we got class in about 10 minutes. And so I'm going to go. And also those of you that are in the stock market club, we will not be meeting tomorrow because I have to travel home from the convention. But I did send you all a link to some resources in terms of stocks that I like, things like that. And so feel free to take a look at that as well. And I will make it up. The ABC 2026 is going to be the weekend of October 16th in Brooklyn. So that's what it's going to be. And those of you who attended, Feel free to say something in the comments because it's really phenomenal. The energy is really good. And it was really a great space where business deals were being done. People were connecting in terms of creating opportunities for each other. They were sharing ideas in terms of how to make money. And the beautiful part about it is that the people that are there have more money because they're a part of it. So I think that's the part that's really, really cool. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I will follow up with you very, very soon. Have a great day, and those links are in the chat, and I'll put them also in the comments for those who watch the recording. Have a good day, everybody. God bless you. Thank you so much for